Quick ask. Subscribe now, then let's jump in with the numbers. You don't need a breaking news alert to know Arizona feels different in 2025. You feel it when you drive past the same blazing sunsets, the same palm-lined master plan communities, the same stucco boxes wrapping golf course greens, and yet the buzz around housing has dropped a level. Open houses that used to feel like airports now feel like waiting rooms. The sign is out, the balloons are up, but the driveway is half empty, and the agent has time to ask about your weekend instead of juggling 3 offers in the kitchen. Then you open Zillow or Redfin, and your gut gets receipts. Phoenix, Mesa, Gilbert, Tucson, Surprise, Prescott Valley. Listings that should have vanished weeks ago now sit there wearing price improvement and motivated seller like quiet confessions. The just sold over asking flex posts are fewer. The silence between them is louder. If you've caught yourself thinking, something's off, but I can't quite name it, you're not crazy and you're not alone. Arizona's boom chapter is over. In 9 key cities, prices aren't sprinting anymore. They're rolling over in slow motion, one longer days on market, one small price cut at a time. Tonight, we're going to map it clearly. Roll the clock back to 2020 and 2021. Arizona wasn't just a state on the map, it was the escape plan. Californians sold cramped bungalows and landed in Phoenix, Gilbert, or Queen Creek, feeling like they'd hacked the system. Remote workers opened laptops in bigger houses with pools and thought, why would I ever go back? Retirees locked in lock-and-leave condos in Scottsdale and the West Valley. Investors and Airbnb buyers stacked up properties from downtown Phoenix to Sedona, assuming travel demand and cheap flights would always refill the calendar. Cheap money made all of it feel safe. At 3%, stretching for the 4-bedroom in Chandler, the new build in Goodyear, or the upgraded Tucson bungalow felt ambitious but doable. Then the environment flipped. Rates climbed. Insurance and utilities crept higher. HOAS quietly ratcheted dues. Property taxes adjusted to peak comps. Suddenly, the exact same house on the exact same cul-de-sac cost hundreds more each month at 7%. Arizona didn't cool because the desert lost its magic. It cooled because the payment outran paychecks and rental math, and nobody wants to be the one who bought at the wrong chapter of the story. That's how booms quietly become hangovers. When I say prices are rolling over in Arizona, I'm not talking about drama. I'm talking about a pattern you can actually see. Days on market creep up compared with last year. Homes that would have vanished after 1 weekend in Phoenix, Mesa, or Gilbert now sit through 3. List-to-sale ratios drift back toward or below 100%. You scroll your feed and spot more red arrows, more price reduced, more listings where the same address shows 2 or 3 cuts. Inventory doesn't vanish, it quietly builds. Deals fall apart after inspections and appraisals, sending homes back on the market with slightly more anxious copy and slightly more flexible sellers. Underneath all of that is the same choke point, the monthly. Not just the sticker price, but mortgage, taxes, insurance, HOA or condo fees, utilities, landscaping, pool care, and desert climate repairs stacked against what real Arizona households earn. Nurses in Tucson, teachers in Mesa, construction crews in the West Valley, mid-level tech workers in Tempe, small business owners in Prescott, they all have limits. Freefall doesn't start with boarded-up streets. It starts the moment sellers need the buyer more than the buyer needs that zip code, and that's already happening. We'll start the countdown where the change is obvious if you live there, but easy to miss from a distance. In Prescott Valley and the fringes around Prescott, the lifestyle promise was simple. Cooler nights, slower pace, views and golf instead of city traffic. Prices sprinted ahead of local paychecks between 2020 and 2022. And now those 1990s and 2000s homes with a view or fairway nearby sight longer while fixed-income buyers quietly back away from the new monthly. In Surprise and El Mirage, the West Valley value pitch runs into reality. Commutes, utilities, and higher rates squeeze families. So builder tracks and resales whisper concessions instead of bragging about lines out the door. Queen Creek and Santan Valley were the exurb dream. Bigger houses for more freeway time. In 2025, long drives plus gas, taxes, and insurance push a lot of stretch buyers into Maybe not. And you see clusters of cuts in look-alike subdivisions. Peoria and Glendale's belts feel it too. Larger homes, higher operating costs, and wages that didn't keep up. Buyers get picky, sellers anchored to 2022 comps adjust down. And remember, these are the mild markets on this list compared with what's still ahead of you. Now we move into the suburbs that were supposed to be the safe middle of the Arizona story. In Mesa, the workhorse city of families, retirees, students, and light rail commuters, the pitch used to be simple. Solid houses, decent prices, easy access. After the pandemic run-up, those mid-tier blocks look different. Buyers scroll past listings, mentally adding roofs, AC units, water heaters, and rising utilities to the asking price. Homes that would have moved in a weekend now linger, take one cut, then another. As sellers realize, updated in 2008 doesn't justify a 2022 number. Chandler and Gilbert were the East Valley Dream Package. Jobs, schools, palm-lined arterials, HOAS, that keep everything manicured. The brand is still shiny, but the ledger underneath isn't. HOA dues, taxes, jumbo-ish loans, daycare, and car payments stack into a monthly that even strong dual-income households hesitate to lock in. You can see the reset in the 2000 subdivisions where nearly identical homes all start flashing reductions. Tucson rounds out this tier. Belts that soaked up Californians and remote workers now see more inspection blowups, under-ask offers, and investors who refuse to buy without real cash flow. And remember, these are not even the hardest hit markets yet. Now we hit the part of the story Arizona never thought it would say out loud. At number 2 are Phoenix's non-prime belts, townhome rows and subdivision grids outside glossy postcard shots. Maryvale, stretches of North Phoenix, outer infill neighborhoods that rode wave after wave of investors and first-time buyers when money was cheap. In 2025, you see the hangover. Days on market stretch, price cuts feel routine, and concessions are baked in. Service and mid-income households stuck in payments built for 3% quietly ask, how long can we carry this? Sellers buy down rates, throw in credits, anything to keep one buyer. Number 1 is the line Arizona swore it would never cross. Scottsdale repricing in public. For years, the story was simple. Scottsdale doesn't lose. Status, golf, nightlife, lock and leave condos, STR money. It all felt bulletproof. Now jumbo loans, taxes, HOA dues, insurance, and choppy tourism make the monthly impossible to hide. Inventory stacks in certain condo, townhome, and high-end SFR pockets. Homes that once sparked bidding wars now need incentives, and if even Scottsdale has to blink, move one ring out, stops being a safety plan, and becomes another story you test against math. If you're buying or renting in Arizona right now, your edge isn't speed, it's staying calm and structured. Build your watch list around homes that have been sitting 30 to 45 days, especially after a second price cut. Those list prices are not commandments, they're opening offers. Keep your inspection, keep your financing contingency, and let the report and the rate sheet do the talking. Credits for repairs, permanent buy-downs, closing cost help. Then run the 5-year monthly, mortgage, taxes, insurance, HOA, utilities, maintenance versus today's rent for something similar. If the numbers only work after financial gymnastics, they don't work. If you're selling price to closed and pending deals, not to a 2021 screenshot, use a pre-inspection to control the story and lead with an incentive package instead of bleeding out through cuts. If you're investing, retire appreciation and refi miracles as plan A. In this phase, safe means the property pays you to hold it even if values nap for years. Arizona isn't over. It's being repriced. Drop your city and zip, your days on market and price cut stories in the comments to build an on-the-ground map. For more housing breakdowns and a next Arizona comeback map episode, hit subscribe and stay plugged in.